One more death reported due to landslide in Baglung. Prithvi Highway obstructed. Diversion of the Sewar River under Dang's Ghorahi Tulsipur road section swept away by flood. The declining birth rate in the country poses risk of insufficient active population in the future. Declining fertility rate and increasing rate of migration attributed as the main reasons. Newly appointed British Prime Minister Keir Starmer holds a sideline talk with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Starmer promises Zelensky steadfast support. And Colombia beat Uruguay 1-0 in their Copa America semi-final to book a title decider against defending champions Argentina. The Ghorahi Tulsipur road section of Dang has been obstructed after the flood last night swept away the road diversion. The road section has been obstructed after the flood swept away the diversion of the Sewar River. Vehicular movement through the road section had resumed after only a week yesterday after constructing the diversion. Likewise, electricity has also been cut off in Ghorahi Narayanpur area as the flood has damaged the pole of the 33 kV transmission line and transformer. 5 electricity poles and transformer have been damaged. Likewise, the road section between Dang's Ghorahi and Rolpa's Holeri has also been obstructed due to landslide at a dozen places. Police Chief of Dang, Ram Bahadur Kesi, said that efforts were underway to remove the debris from both sides by using excavators. Meanwhile, a woman has died in Baglung after her house was buried in a landslide last night. The deceased has been identified as 58-year-old Kheer Kumari Sharma of Titaure in Baglung 7. Her body has been recovered by police and local residents this morning. Likewise, flood has rescued. In fact, the flood has caused damage to houses and shops in Baglung. Police have said that details of the loss has yet to be received. The flood has swept away a bridge over Dumre River in Baglung 8 and 9. Movement of locals has been affected after this. Likewise, one-way vehicular movement has been reported in Dauni of East Nawalparasi under the East-West Highway. Traffic police have said that efforts to resume two-way vehicular operation has been hindered by incessant rainfall. Likewise, the landslide in Kaligandaki corridor in Hiudekhola of Gairakot Municipality 3 has obstructed road. The Prithvi Highway has been obstructed following a landslide near Mauakhola in Chitwan's Ichakamana Rural Municipality. Police have said that two-way vehicular movement has been obstructed since 5 a.m. They have been making efforts to remove the debris by coordinating with the Department of Road. The risk of flood and landslide in road sections under the Prithvi Highway has increased as works of construction of the road is underway. As per the proportion of Nepal's population, the income of an individual is not even sufficient for themselves. 65% of the country's total population is active population. However, the proportion of active population has been decreasing with the decline in birth rate. The main cause of this is declining fertility rate. Another factor is increasing rate of migration in foreign countries. As per the latest census, a female gives birth to less than 2 children in the country. This has increased the risk of lack of skilled workforce in the future. The number of active population, which is between the age of 15 and 64, is 19,027,289 at the moment, which is 62% of the total population. Likewise, the number of inactive population above the age of 65 is 2,021,714, which is 10%, and those below the age of 14 is 8,115,575, which is 28% of the total population. According to the 12th National Census, the annual population growth rate has been the lowest since the past 80 years. The population growth rate in the previous census was 1.35%, which has decreased to 0.92% in the latest census. As per the data, currently we are unable to reap benefit from the existing population. The government has remained indifferent towards the impact of the decline in birth rate in the future. Victims of cooperatives have reached out to the Parliamentary Probe Committee formed to investigate the irregularities in the sector. They have also demanded for a probe into the alleged involvement of Home Minister Rabi Lamichhane into the cooperatives fraud case. A former official of Rashtriya Banijya Bank, Shakuntala Dhakal, who lives in Lalitpur, has lost her sleeps as she lost around 20 million rupees to Bhaktapur's Nagarik Development Cooperative. She has been making rounds of government offices and administration, but to no avail. The Parliament's committee formed to probe into the cooperative's fraud case called on victims on Wednesday and heard their grievances. During the meeting, victims demanded for a probe into Home Minister Rabi Lamichhane, saying that cooperatives' money had been illegally invested in Gorkha Media Network. Victims said the police had rejected filing complaints since Lamichhane took to the post of Home Minister.
रवि लामिछानेको नाम मैले त्यसरी जोडेको होइन किन भन्दा 79 साल भदौ असोजमा बनेको प्रतिवेदनमा गृहमन्त्री रवि लामिछानेको नाम आयो त्यतिखेर उहाँ माननीय मन्त्री हुनुहुन्थ्यो पछि फेरि 80 चाहिँ तपाईको माघदेखि 81 वैशाखसम्म बनेको 3400 पानाको प्रतिवेदनमा पनि उहाँको नाम आयो र हामीले उहाँको नाममै पनि किटानी जाहेरी दियौं तर त्यो जाहेरी पनि एउटा ड्रवरमा लगेर थन्काइयो यो कुरो पनि तपाईले सोच्दिनु पर्यो यसलाई पहल गर्दिनु पर्यो अघि बढाइदिनु पर्यो यहाँ को मन्त्री को गृहमन्त्री के मन्त्री को सांसद भन्ने कुरो छैन.
Massive irregularities have been reported from cooperatives where operators have invested or spent depositors' money and failed to return them. Some 20 troubled cooperatives and 9 others have left many members of public struggling. Victims have demanded for an amendment to laws that they say are too lenient on the perpetrators. The Parliament Probe Committee Chair Surya Bahadur Thapa, after hearing grievances of around 32 victims, expressed commitment of delivering justice. He added that the committee would inquire on the cooperative operators that are in police custody and collect evidence for further action. Around 500 cooperatives have mishandled money deposited by thousands of the general public. Police data has shown more than 11 billion rupees belonging to more than 50,000 depositors have been mishandled in a single year. All eyes are hence now on the Parliamentary Probe Committee that has the mandate of going through all the irregularities and submit a report to the Parliament. Rashtriya Swatantra Party leader Mukul Dhakal, who was relieved from the post of General Secretary, has claimed party chair and Home Minister Rabi Lamichhane holds dual passports. Dhakal organized a press conference yesterday and demanded for a high-level probe committee from the party to probe into the cooperative's fraud case and also on the minister holding dual passports. He also said it was illegitimate of the party to decide to remove him from the post and claimed he still was the General Secretary of RSP. Dhakal also said RSP Vice Chair DP Aryal, who is also Labour Minister, has been reaping undue benefits from the party's accounts. The party's General Committee, in fact Central Committee, had relieved him from the post, citing violation of party discipline, but maintained his party membership. He has also been removed from the role of party spokesperson. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked cooperatives victims in several provinces what should be done to solve their problem. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
अध्यक्षहरूलाई समात्नु भन्दा पनि पहिला अध्यक्षहरूलाई ल्याएर उहाँहरूको इन्टेन्सन के त पीडितहरूलाई पैसा कसरी रिटर्न गर्छु त त्यो चाहिँ भन्नु पर्यो के त्यो जेलमा ल्याएर राख्यो भने उहाँहरूलाई केही पनि कुरा थाहा हुँदैन जेलमा बस्छन् उहाँहरूले 2 वर्षपछि त उहाँहरू त उम्किनु हुन्छ त्यसैले पीडितहरू त पीडित नै रहनुहुन्छ क्या त्यसैले चाहिँ सरकारले राम्रो कदम चालोस् पीडितहरूलाई चाहिँ न्याय दियोस्
पीडितको न्याय दिनको लागि जति अहिले ठगहरूले भागिराखेका छन् उनीहरूको सञ्चालक समितिका जुन अचल सम्पत्ति छ त्यसलाई रोका गरेर लिलाम गर्नु पर्यो
हाटबाट गर्नु पर्यो कि हेडबाट गरेर भएन यो हार्ट र हेड जब दुईटा दिल र दिमाग जोडिन्छ अनि मात्रै पैसा पाइन्छ। सरकार हामीपट्टि प्रतिबद्ध भएन, हामीलाई दिएन सरकारले।
यिनीहरूले सम्पत्ति जुन छोडेर गएको छ नि कि त्यो सरकारले आफूले लिइदिनु पर्यो, त्यो लिएर चाहिँ त्योबाट चाहिँ यसको साटा चाहिँ बचतकर्ताहरूलाई चाहिँ सरकारले चाहिँ आफ्नो हिसाबले चाहिँ पैसा दिइदिनु पर्यो।
देशभरिका वित्तीय संस्था एकीकरण गरोस् र पीडितहरूको चाहिँ सबै लिस्टेड गरिदियोस् र राज्यले त्यसको लागि जिम्मा लियोस्।
राज्यले नै सम्पत्ति जफत गरेर चाहिँ दियो भने चाहिँ केही न केही सहज हुन्छ भन्ने लाग्छ। त्योभन्दा अरू बाहेक चाहिँ मैले देखेको छैन।
मान्छेले बदमासी गरेको मात्रै हो जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ। त्यो भएर चाहिँ राज्यले कडा नीति बनाएर ती व्यक्तिहरूबाट असुल उपर गर्नुपर्छ।
लोन लिएका मान्छेहरूले बेला तिर्दिनुपर्छ।
CPN-UML chairperson KP Sharma Oli has said that ministries would be shared on equal basis while forming the new government with Nepali Congress. He also clarified that Nepali Congress and UML had not struck an agreement for a commission to amend the constitution, and that any amendment or revision would depend on experiences and call for improvements. Addressing the Secretariat meeting at the party's central office, Chairperson Oli said that an agreement was yet to be reached with Nepali Congress on the share of ministries. He added that despite basic discussions on ministers, a conclusion was yet to be reached.
बाँडफाँड पनि भइसकेको छैन। यो मन्त्रालय यो पार्टीले, यो मन्त्रालय यो पार्टीले, को सरकारमा सामेल हुने, कसको स्थिति के हुने भन्ने कुरा साधारणतया हैसियतको आधारमा बराबरीको हैसियतमा कांग्रेस र एमाले सामान्यतः बराबरीको हैसियतमा व्यवहार गर्छन्।
Oli said that discussions were in progress with the objective of including other parties in the new government as well. However, Oli noted that an agreement was not reached with Nepali Congress on formation of a commission for the amendment of the constitution. He said that an agreement was reached on amending the constitution on the basis of needs for transformation and improvement. Meanwhile, Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba has also expedited discussions in his party regarding selection of ministers. After the coalition of CPN Maoist Centre and CPN UML split in 4 months, CPN Maoist Centre Chair and Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal is to seek a vote of confidence tomorrow. CPN UML has issued a whip to vote against Dahal in the floor test. At the meeting, Oli also said preparations were underway to take other parties along in the government, in fact in the new government. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: what should be done to stop the exploitation of lands of Bharatpur Hospital? Your options are A. Action against exploiters, B. Vacate the encroached area, and C. Strengthen laws. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Newly appointed British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held a sideline talk yesterday. The leaders of both sides had a separate meeting after the NATO meeting. During the meeting, British Prime Minister Starmer assured his Ukrainian counterpart that despite the change of government in Britain, there has been no change in British policy towards Ukraine and it remains the same. Starmer also told Zelensky that there would be no impact on British relations with Kyiv and that he would start efforts to further strengthen them. Days into his leadership, Starmer recommitted to the former Conservative government's pledge to deliver £3 billion a year of military support to Ukraine until 2030-31 and beyond if needed, underlining continuity in Britain's role as being one of Kyiv's most active and vocal backers. After 14 years, the Labour Party came to power by defeating the Conservative Party from the British government. On behalf of the Labour Party, Keir Starmer took over as Prime Minister last week. After becoming the Prime Minister, he attended the NATO summit in America for the first time. There, he was warmly welcomed by the representatives of NATO member states. Some praised his party's overwhelming vote, while some representatives suggested Starmer to continue a stable government in Britain. Although Ukraine is not a member of NATO, Zelensky came to Washington to thank the West for its solidarity with Ukraine. Gaza truce talks have begun in Doha, Qatar. The representatives of Israel, the United States and Egypt gathered in Doha to discuss the proposal made by US President Joe Biden to end the war in 3 phases. An Israeli delegation headed by Shin Bet Security Service Chief Ronen Bar arrived in Qatar yesterday for Gaza truce talks with CIA Director William Burns, Head of Egyptian Intelligence Abbas Kamel, and Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani. It is said that the representatives of these 4 countries will finalize the draft regarding the Gaza ceasefire, in which all parties have agreed on the proposal. Although Hamas accepted the ceasefire proposal for the first of the 3 phases, it said that it wanted a written guarantee from the Israeli side. The representatives are mediating in favor of the complete ceasefire. Although the meeting held on Monday made some progress, it may take up to a week to conclude the deal. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has expressed his commitment to intensify the attack on Gaza again if his conditions in the 2nd and 3rd phase of the ceasefire proposal are not fulfilled. Israel has continued its attacks on Gaza despite the talks for a ceasefire. The Israeli army attacked UNRWA headquarters in Gaza City and ordered the Gazans to evacuate the area. Meanwhile, 30 Palestinians were killed when the Israeli army attacked Tal al-Hawa neighborhood in Gaza. Hamas has already said that the Israeli army's continuous attacks and orders to evacuate will affect the negotiations. A major police manhunt for 26-year-old Kyle Clifford, who allegedly killed 3 women, the wife and daughters of a BBC horse racing commentator, ended when he was found injured near a cemetery in North London. Officers discovered the 3 victims, aged 25, 28 and 61, with serious injuries at the house in Bushey, 20 miles northwest of London, on Tuesday evening. They died at the scene a short while later. The women were Carol Hunt, the wife of BBC commentator John Hunt, and 2 of their daughters. Chief Superintendent John Simpson called the incident horrific, saying a crossbow and possibly other weapons were believed to have been involved. Bye for now.